Hello there. Welcome to a build with me. This is kind of a new concept, but it's something I really wanted to try out because I love building and it's easy content, I guess. Today I wanted to make a building that could kind of fit into the world of this old build that I made quite a while ago now. It's in a whole other build world. You can see on the ground it's a desert world. It's not the green, lush, grassy world that I have in the world that we're building on today. But yeah, I want to make something with, copper, both ends of the spectrum, some brick, resin was a big one that I went into and I wanted. And then I didn't put any in for like the first 30 minutes of the build, because I'm stupid. But we're starting off with putting the build somewhere. We have to place it. I don't like just putting it in the green plain grass and like hoping for the best. I want to actually put it in an environment. So that's what I'm doing here. Is I'm getting a bit of ground. I'm getting some roads in, and I realized I fucked up by making the roads way too close to the ground, like the borders of the ground. So I had to go and manually just drag it out a bit, make it a bit wider, so that it fit properly. But I think we managed. I think we survived. That was the first hiccup of many hiccups, by the way. I don't really like the idea of making YouTube tutorials for Minecraft builds because as fun as it is to build, my process, you will see, I'm indecisive, first of all, and just I never commit to anything. I like to play around, I like to fuck around. I want to kind of see where I can go and what I can do. So I never tend to stick to like one thing. I never have a plan when I'm going in. I just go kind of insane. And if it works out, it works out. But I did have some general knowledge about the shape that I wanted, and that's what I've got here. I have two stories. One of the stories, the second story, has a bit of an overhang. I map out where I want the windows. And I considered putting a window on the right side, but I decided against it because I just like the asymmetry of it. We're gonna put something else there. I clearly don't know currently what it's gonna be. God only knows. That is between me and the future. And we'll get to it eventually. Painting is one of those things in Minecraft that I really, really enjoy doing. It's my favorite part of the building process. And it's surprising to me that I kind of started doing it now and I just never got back to it. Usually I like to, put down one plain color, go in with the building and the shaping, and then adding painting on top of it, of the already put in layer, so that I can add shadows and depths and stuff like that. I just did not do that here. I just went full in. It was too small for shading, I guess. Here you can see a bit of that indecisiveness. I did try to put some resin into the build, but I immediately decided that diorite looked better. It's fine, because I do realize later on that diorite actually sucks ass and it's the worst building block ever. So we switch back to resin eventually. Don't you worry your pretty little heads. It's coming. Onto the roof, because I can never commit to one thing. I have to do all of the things all of the time. And if you know me and you know my building style, you'll know that, yeah, no, I'm not good with roofs. I'm real bad with them. Axiom has helped immensely. I will be honest on that part. Axiom, my beloved, I don't know what I would do without you. I would probably succumb and die. Because I'm really bad at shapes in Minecraft and it just helps. Here you get like kind of an upside view. I like to go up to clear out the symmetry, make sure that everything looks correct on both sides. And then I do a little kind of dip into the roof there. Maybe we can put a little window there. Maybe a little place for someone to kind of sit and watch what is happening outside. I don't know what I'm doing with roofs. I never know what I'm doing with roofs. I did know going in that I wanted this kind of sloped shape and then a very big, kind of even bigger slope. You can see it. Now let's get into this little number, this weird little block shape that I've just left, hanging. We're gonna go in, we're gonna do it kind of half circle dome shape. And we're gonna see if we can get some of that green glass that I put into the gradient earlier. Because this is supposed to be a greenhouse that is kind of inside of the house, halfway inside, halfway outside, getting that good sun. I tend to build not for something to be lived in. Like, I don't build bases, I build for artistic purposes of just making things look good at an angle. So I don't pay all that much attention to this specific part of the build. If you were making this as a base, you would probably make it look prettier inside as well as outside. I tend to only care about how it looks outside because I'm like that. That's the angle that I show my builds off from, so that's the angle I want to look good. So don't yell at me, because the greenhouse roof is stone still. I know, and I don't care. Here I was trying to get some copper pipes going, and already I hated it. I hated how it looked. I kept going, I kept at it, because I thought, oh, you know, I'll add stairs and I'll add trapdoors, I'll make it look good. But I don't make it look good. I kill them as soon as I can. Also, I can't count. But it's okay. I fixed it with Axiom again. Not the first time I have to fix something with Axiom because of my inability to do math, and certainly not the last. Here we're back inside of the greenhouse to put in a little sprinkler system that I thought was really cute, and here we're also adding some windows to the roof. Don't get too accustomed to these dips in the roof. I do delete them eventually. The little, as I like to call them, cat ears that are sitting on top of the roof. I realized that they look like cat ears, and then I had to just kill them. Onto more indecisiveness. I tried to get these windows to look good, and I just couldn't. I added so many different things. I'm not even done yet. Not even a little bit. I'm just staring at them because I know I can do better, but we go into making a little bit of a door. Now, insight into what I do as a builder is if I have a window, I don't want to just look into that window and see a wall or a big empty space. I want to actually put something behind that window so it looks like an actual house, even if it isn't. And one of the tricks that I use to do that is either putting the same material that is outside of that window inside, or by putting a bunch of, as you can see, glazed terracotta. And glazed terracotta is my favorite way to do this because it adds variety. It makes it look like there's actually something behind your window without it actually getting too weird or overwhelming. It's very uniform and very evenly patterned. And then I just layer glass and add some lights in there, and it kind of looks a little bit better than if it was just, you know, a wall or big empty nothingness. Here I'm adding walls to the greenhouse by using dark oak, as well as, are they called cartography tables? And moss. And also here I am struggling with a door. But yeah, no, I don't have an excuse. I could not place that door for the life of me. Also here I am staring into a wall because I'm trying to pick some flowers. And I eventually come out of the creative menu without any flowers, only with greenery. I don't know. I just thought it looked more uniform, I guess. I like the look of it. Onto the roof. Now, listen, when I make a roof, I just kind of throw myself at it and hope for the best. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just adding slabs because sometimes people add slabs to roofs. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't care. I just want my roofs to look good, and maybe that's what I've done here. Who knows? Who knows if I've done good here? I do know that I revisit a couple of the spots later on. I don't think I record that part. I don't think I'm focusing on that part in the recording at that point. Like, if something looks good, let's just pretend that it stays, and if something looks bad, let's just pretend that I go back and fix it later. All right, let's do that to make me happy. These I'm really happy with. I think those windows turned out really, really cute. I do add glass to them later, but not yet. We'll get to them though, don't you worry. Now, here's a big part of why I never record tutorials for my builds, because a lot of it is just me realizing a new cool idea I have that I replaced the old idea with. Originally, there were going to be these steel beams underneath the build supporting that second roof kind of dip outwards, and then I thought, what if there's a tree growing in there? And that's what's supporting the weight of the house, and so I add a tree. I also go in and change one layer of the dyed glass from green to orange to get more of a muted, warmer tone, because that like Sprite green I wasn't loving it. Here is when I come to my senses and I realize, hey, diorite actually sucks. So I go back to the resin walls, and then I immediately think, hey, this build needs some white in it. So I add some white behind the walls and framing that door. I'm really sorry. Like I've said, I'm an indecisive builder. I just kind of throw myself at the wall and hope that it works. And here it did. I also changed the entranceway to actually look good. Big win for everyone everywhere. I'm back to these windows. I'm thinking now I've got it. I'll use this trick where you put two trapdoors together to make it look like window, whatever the window frames, not panes. And then I go in and I kill those fucking copper pieces of garbage. I hated them so much. I just had to get them out of my sight. Being gay and sucking at math strikes again because the roof is asymmetrical. But it's okay, actually. It worked out because on the left-hand side it was overhanging by 3 blocks, and on the right-hand side it was overhanging by 4 blocks, so I just use Axiom to move that in. We love Axiom. And it immediately becomes symmetrical again. Can you see what I mean when I say they look like cat ears? It looks like the house is wearing cat ears. Also, I count how many times I fuck up putting these copper blocks into place by putting in blocks instead of slabs where they should be slabs. Because I do it more than once, and I look stupid doing it. Then I go around the outer rim of the circle on the roof, and I add some more copper, because it looks good. I don't know, I like it. God, I can just see cat. Yeah, no, there I go. They're gone. The cat ears gone. It's not Halloween, and it's not cute. What are we doing next? I can't. Oh yes, the windows. I hated the trapdoor idea. Hated it. So I went in, I changed it again, and I added lightning rods. I take a step back, I look at it, I'm like, it looks good. And then I'm immediately back to the windows because I've had a stroke of genius. I've had a stroke, all right. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, what if I make a little archway and it's cute? But when I take another step back and I look at it in its entirety, I think it kind of looks like a sign. And then I think, ooh, a sign. So I add a sign. If you want to make a sign, but you're limited on space, so you can't really do anything big with banners and stuff like that, just using glazed terracotta does tend to work, in my opinion. It gives it that like feel of, oh, there's something here, there's a pattern here, there's writing here maybe, which I really like. Now anyone knows you can't put 2 trapdoors on one side blocks or on one gap blocks, so I use fence gates, and lucky for me it works. It looks kind of good. Not complete for sure, but good enough. I also add some windows to, or some glass to the windows up there, and I think I made that orange to break up that prismarine and teal copper color. Hey, welcome to Dorian Can't Make a Gear to Save His Life. I don't want to think about this. I don't want to think about how poorly I made this fucking gear at first. So we're gonna look away. You scroll down to the comments and you tell me what genre of blocks is your favorite to build with. Mine is copper. I like anything copper. I think it is one of the best things we've gotten in building since, like, genuinely, stone. It is so incredibly diverse and you can do so many different things with it, and the fact that it comes in so many colors is insane. But, like, what genre of blocks do you like? Do you like wood? Do you like stone? Do you like deep slate? Do you like the colored blocks, the terracotta? Like, what do you like to build with? What's your go-to? It's starting to look gear-shaped, right? I think I gave up and started looking at Pinterest after a while, and I think this is what I came up with. Which, you know, it's fine. It's not bad. Back again with the resin. Because I don't know. I need it in the build, I guess. And then I put I was gonna say a gear. It's not a gear, it's a circle. I put a circle behind the gear, and I pretend like it's another gear that can help the big gear turn. It's not a gear though. Anyway, I moved that gear down, the big gear and the small gear. They both go down, they dip into the roof, and they're gearing away inside. I don't know what they're gearing at. Maybe there's a machine in there doing stuff. We'll never know. What's next on the agenda? I've genuinely forgotten what I've done in this build, like in which order. Oh yeah, I fixed the roof, obviously, because when I dug it in, I made gaps in there. Oopsie. Did you know that using powered rails is really fun, and I have it in a lot of builds, just as like a decoration block? I just think it looks neat. I also add this little sign. You can't see it yet, but there is a oh, what's that wood type called? The mangrove. There's a mangrove sign in there to kind of break up the monotony of just acacia. Finally, nature. I'm bad with trees. It's one of those things that I tend to struggle with a lot, and I've found that what helps me is to cling leaves as tightly to branches as possible, and then whatever shape you want the leaves to have, you start adding a bunch of those. So here I wanted a draped, like flowing look, so I'd add a bunch of leaves just hanging in clumps, and in different layers. But again, don't take my advice, I'm bad at trees. Here I finally figure out what I want to do with this side, and I took inspiration from this part of my main build, where I use lightning rods to kind of make a copper, I don't know what to call this, circuit? Which I really like. I think it looks really cute. I think it looks really cool, and I like adding it to any build that I have now. So I add this, I move it one block to the right, so that I can get some leeway on the left and make it look more framed. And then I, again, am the world's most indecisive bitch, but I think eventually this is what we end up with. Adding the road leading up to the house, because you gotta have that. And then I go in and I add, because, you know, we have the sign above the door, we have the sign hanging from the roof. What if we have a third sign on top of the roof? And that is exactly what I do. I make a little gradient going from resin blocks to orange glaze terracotta, and then I start with copper, but I realize it looks shite, so I go in with some warped, stripped logs. And oh my god, was this a struggle to get. I'm so glad. If you don't have Axiom, this is what I'm using to turn the glaze terracotta around, and I was gonna say I'm so glad I have it, because you can just turn them with your hand. If you don't have Axiom, you can use a debug stick, which you summon in with commands, and that's how I would do a lot of stuff before I got any kind of mods to help me with building, is I would just debug stick the hell out of things. Like, debug stick slash fill and slash set blocks were my that was the peak of my ability to build before I got into mods. Honestly, God bless anyone who builds with trapdoors like this all the time. I think it is one of the most difficult blocks to like get right, and that's coming from someone who has issues with stairs, so don't take it too seriously. I'm so bad with like how stairs should go and what way you should be placing them, which is kind of embarrassing. But I'm equally bad with trapdoors, if not worse, so there's that. I'm also adding some stands for them to, well, for the sign to kind of hang on to, so that it's not just floating above the roof. And then I'm adding some lights, because you can never have too many lanterns, right? Have some hanging from there, get some from the roof, and then I also go in and I turn on some of the copper bulbs in the little mechanism down there. Now, I thought this little house looked lonely, so I grabbed a couple of my work in progress townhomes and I just kind of pasted them in. And then I went back into the greenhouse because I wanted to lower the floor and also add something around the dirt blocks so that it doesn't look like there's just piles of dirt on the floor. So I went in with the classic old spruce trapdoor. And there it is! here I am putting a door on it. In case anyone ever wants to make this a base and live in it, you can also now get inside of it.